Hello, hello! David Snowpick here from Snowpick Games. Welcome to the stream. How is everyone doing? I see Ricardo is here. He's got a pretty good looking character with some plate mail and a sweet stash. I'm rocking a wizard helmet and a long beard. My beard isn't quite that long in real life and not blonde either, but we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty good, Ricardo. Man, it feels like a million years since I streamed. It's only been 2 weeks. How have things been going by you guys? How are your projects? Anything cool going on? From my end, I've just been kind of losing my mind with GDExtension stuff. But, yeah. And this tomorrow, I'm flying out to Valencia because there is the Godot sprint in Valencia later in the week. Hey, Ruben, how's it going? It's going good by me. Hey, Bimdav, welcome to the stream. Yeah, Bimdav, I'm excited about all the stuff that you've been doing with rigid bodies in SG Physics 2D. I can't wait to see the code for that. I'm just really excited about that. That's awesome. Thanks for heading up that effort. Physics, yay! You and Ricardo, probably the only people ever excited for physics streams. I've mentioned this before, but you guys should see the analytics. I say physics in a stream, and like the numbers are way lower than for any other stream topic. I think actually the ones that do the best are when I just say Godot 4 and like don't specify. For what my hyper specificity, I think, is what gets me in trouble. So yeah, GDExtension madness, and yeah, I don't know how many of you guys know this. I know Ricardo does for sure. The Godot 4.1 feature freeze is on Tuesday. So anything that is an enhancement or is risky in some way, so even bug fixes that are risky, have to get merged before Tuesday. And I know that the beginning of next week, probably not a lot of things are going to be getting merged anyway, because I know Remy at least is going to be in Valencia at the beginning of next week and doing like W4 meetings and stuff. I don't know what Yuri's going to be up to, but like the production team probably won't be super receptive to stuff. So it's like today and the weekend, I guess, are like when we got to get things merged. Which is kind of stressing me out. There is one very serious GDExtension bug that I really... we need to get it fixed for 4.1. The question of how we get it fixed is up in the air. And one of the ways, or I guess two of the possible ways to fix it, are things that would probably need to be merged by Tuesday. Because they're disruptive. They're bug fixes, but they're like high-risk bug fixes. I don't know if you guys want to chat about that for a minute. It's like dominating my brain. So let's chat about it for a minute so I can get it out of my brain. And then we'll dive into some coding. Although more folks have showed up since I threw out my invitation to please tell me about what's going on by you guys and your projects. This doesn't have to be so ego-central to me. What's stressing you guys out about either about the Godot 4.1 feature freeze or anything else? Hang on, let me find this. This issue. So we have this regression in Godot CPP that happened relatively recently. Some bug fixes were merged like 2 months ago-ish. When was this merged? In April 1st, on April Fool's Day. It was a foolish day to merge. But basically, in GDExtension, when things cross the boundary between Godot and a GDExtension, the arguments of the function calls have to be encoded somehow, right? You have to say like, well, this is a, I don't know, a float we're going to have to encode that some way to pass it across the boundary. Or this is an int. Those ones are very simple. But when it's an object or a reference, yeah, it has to be encoded somehow that then can be reconstituted on the other side. And there was a bug originally where like calling methods, any normal method from GDScript to a GDExtension that took an object or a reference would crash. And that's a pretty serious bug, right? But the fix broke all virtual methods. And the reason is that when calling normal functions, Godot was encoding objects, just plain object pointers, and references as, well, in this case, a pointer to an object, in this case, a pointer to a reference. But when calling a virtual method, it was encoding objects as object pointer. And I guess, or no, hang on. Normal methods was encoding both of these in both cases as object single pointer. And then in virtual methods, it was encoding objects as object pointer, and references as reference pointer. So there's this difference in encoding between virtual methods and normal methods. So when this bug was fixed, it introduced a new bug. So now all virtual methods are broken. And we need to fix that. Virtual methods are very important in GDExtension. Lots of things rely on them, including some official GDExtensions. So we have to fix it. It's got to be fixed. And there's a couple of ways we could fix it, which I outlined in here. We could just decide that Godot should encode everything as object pointer and get rid of this whole object pointer thing. We could go the other way, decide Godot encodes everything as object pointer and get rid of the object single pointer thing. So both of those would lead to consistency, and consistency is generally good. Or we could have Godot CPP accept the situation that Godot does two separate things and have some code on the Godot CPP side that says, I'm a virtual method, treat my input differently than if I'm a normal method. And like I was saying, I think either of these changes are disruptive enough that the production team will not let us make them after the feature freeze. And that's what's stressing me out. Because George, who's the maintainer of GDScript, said that in his opinion, these should always have been object pointer, and that it was a mistake that he made some time ago that led to this inconsistency. So like, okay, cool. If that's the right thing to do, like we should try to do that. And so I have a PR that's doing that, but I can't get. I'm having trouble getting people to like review it and pay attention to it. Probably because they're all so busy with their own things for the Godot feature freeze. Hey, Alexei, welcome to the stream. Anyway, I'll stop going on about this, even though it has dominated my mind and my dreams and my every waking thought. Let's go back to working on something less esoteric and stressful, which is SGPhysics 2D. One of the big things that's missing from SGPhysics 2D that we really need to have a valid port of it in GDExtension for Godot 4 is editor plugins. As it is now, and here, let's run it. It's basically working, more or less. I can load up these old scenes and that already have shapes and polygons and whatever in them, and they run. So let me, VS Code wanted to open up over here. Let me send it over here. What am I doing? There we go. So yeah, this is my classic test scene. This is the first test scene I made for SGPhysics 2D, and I've been using it ever since. It works. The problem is you can't actually edit any of these shapes in the editor because the editor plugins are not there. When you click on, like, say, this circle, we should get a little thing to stretch it, make it bigger. This one's I clicked the color rect, but the shape itself has no handles on it. So the color rect has these like nice little handles on it. You can move, but the shape, which I think is this the shape. Yes, this is the shape. This should have like little handles on it, and you should be able to drag it around. I guess you can technically edit things in the editor if you want to just like type numbers. That's not a very friendly way to edit shapes because shapes are visual. But we now have, actually, until a couple hours ago, the ability to register editor plugins was not part of GDExtension. There was an open PR for it that I think I started on like 2 weeks ago, and it just got merged this morning. So yay, that's merged. But like I was describing earlier, with the problem with virtual methods, like you effectively can't make an editor plugin because of this regression, making virtual methods not work. And by not work, I mean if Godot tries to call one, everything crashes. So a very hard version of not work. But I'm using my PRs to work around that, so we can work on an editor plugin. And the support is now merged into Godot. But this regression is standing in the way of if someone out there in the world wanted to do the same thing, you'd need to grab some of these PRs. So anyway, what I'm thinking is let's try to make the editor plugin for shapes work in GDExtension for Godot 4. What do you guys think? Should we do it? Let's do it. I'm not even going to wait for you to respond. Probably also because there's like a 20-second delay, so I would just be sitting here for 20 seconds waiting for your video to catch up with my reality. Okay. What is this? This is the terminal launched here. Okay, let's dig into the code and see where we're at. Last night, because I wanted to start from something that vaguely worked, I went through the shape editor plugin and basically like commented stuff out until it would compile and not crash. But otherwise, this is the same Godot 3 code that was in here before. And we're definitely going to have to change the way that it works because the Godot 3 module version used some classes that are not exposed to GDExtension. And so I think we might end up having to like copy and paste some code from some of the classes we were otherwise using from the module, or if that seems to be too crazy, we can start writing code to expose them to GDExtension and then make a PR to GDExtension. Of course, you know, like I was just talking about with Godot 4.1, that would have to wait until Godot 4.2, which I think is pretty, at this point, realistic to say that SG Physics 2D will not be working with a stock version of Godot until probably 4.2, which is sad, but that's life. Work takes time. Good work takes time. So I guess it's not that sad. It's fine. It's cool. All right, so let's try and find like the entry point to this. And I think let's just go like down a piece at a time, try to get something showing on the screen. Let's get some handles drawn. What do we have to do to get some handles drawn? So this is broken up into two parts. We have this SG Collision Shape Editor, which is a control that does like all of the real work. And then we have the editor plugin itself. Sorry for the yawn. I was up super late trying to get this working. Updating all my PRs. I should have been up late playing Cassette Beasts, but I wasn't. Although I did play it for a little bit. Have you guys played Cassette Beasts? Cassette Beasts is amazing. It's a Godot game that's kind of like a Pokemon kind of thing, but instead of capturing monsters and then like throwing them out into the world, the conceit, the fantasy is that you are recording the monsters onto cassette tapes, and then when you listen to the cassette tapes, you turn into the monster. Anyway, it's real good. It's real good. I highly recommend it. It's made in Godot, if I didn't say that already. It's a Godot game. So if you purchase it, you are supporting a Godot developer, and it's just a really awesome game. All right, so the editor plugin doesn't do too much. Mostly, it just creates the control and puts it where it needs to be, and then it relays some stuff that editor plugins get called on over to this. So let's look at the implementation and see what we can do here. See how we create it. We add it to the base control. Tony Manblast. Dang, this game looks cool. Which I hope you're talking about Cassette Beasts, because that game is super cool. And welcome to the stream, by the way, Tony. You got a pretty sweet character. Got an orc with a beard and the horned helmet. Looking good, my friend. Oh yeah, so much good stuff got merged to GDExtension lately. This would have not worked until a recent bug fix was merged that fixed Object Cast 2, a thing that I've been working on since like February or January or something. Finally in there. All right. So we add the control, make visible. If not visible, then we edit none. Okay, this makes sense. So if our plugin is requested to not be visible, we then clear what it's editing. When an object is selected that we care about, we pass it to our control to say edit, and we tell Godot when something is selected that yes, if it's an SG collision shape 2D, we will handle that. So I think the place where we got to start then is edit. Edit seems like the place to start. All right, this is all commented out. So Canvas Item Editor is a thing that we do not have access to from GDExtension. I'm a little worried that we're going to need that because we're using it for some pretty basic stuff, like figuring out where the canvas has been transformed to. Like when the user is scrolling through there. Oh yeah, Cassette Beast. Cassette Beast is amazing. Valencia, I'm going to the sprint, and overall, it's kind of a dumb idea for me to go to this sprint, to be completely honest, because it's like a 5-day thing. The actual sprint is only 3 days, the 2 days before I'm going to be going to W4 meetings, but it's a 5-day thing, and I have to travel for 16 hours to get there and back. It's not a 16-hour flight, but I have to take 3 separate flights, and so like from the time when my first flight takes off and my last flight lands is like 16 hours of flying. Anyway, I intend to be playing as much Cassette Beasts in that 16-hour period as humanly possible, or I guess I should say as Steam Deck batterily possible, as long as I can keep that thing charged. I'm going to be playing Cassette Beast. It's going to be good. Also really stressful because it's traveling, but it's going to be good too. I'm hyping myself up for the 16 hours of travel by tying to Cassette Beast. Anyway, so Canvas Item Editor we can't get. So let's see if we can do this without it. Canvas Item Editor Update Viewport. Do we need to call that? Let's hope we don't need to call that. Maybe I'll leave the code here so I know what this did before. Okay, so we're past a node, we cast it, we call get current shape type. What does that do? That examines our node, gets the shape resource, checks if the shape resource is valid, uses cast2 to set this a num, and then updates viewport. Okay, so it's updating viewport twice? We probably don't need one of those, but we can't call it anyway right now. So how does the drawing actually happen? That is the question. So we set the current shape. Where is the drawing done? Handle value, set handle, commit handle. Come on, we got to draw. Oh, okay, here we go. Forward canvas GUI input. Okay, so this is the user interacting with the canvas, which I guess refers to this general area in the Godot editor interface. And here we go. Forward canvas draw viewport. This has to be where the drawing is going down. So if we have a node, if the node is valid, if the shape type does not equal -1, and then here we go. We're getting the canvas transform from the canvas editor. I hope we don't actually need that. We'll find out real soon. And then all of the drawing code is commented out. So let's try and make this work. Let's focus on rectangles. Let's just not do anything for the other shapes for now. That way we can get a good iteration loop going, try some stuff, compile, test. So we are using these standard icons for textures. We appear to not have access to them. Yeah. Okay, so let's investigate this method. Let's start with the docs. Oh, it won't be in the docs if it's not exposed. Let's not start with the docs. Let's start with the normal Godot editor or source code. Or normal Godot, just core source code. So I think this is from control. Get icon. Nope. Or maybe that's a Godot 3 thing and it changed in Godot 4. That is a strong possibility. Maybe let's go to controls bind methods. Let's try that. That's all of the methods that are being exposed to GDScript and GDExtension and C# and all the things. Things that go in the class DB. See if something in here seems icon-y. Icon. Add theme icon override. Get theme icon. This might be the thing. Get theme icon. It could have just been renamed for Godot 3 to go to Godot, from Godot 3 to Godot 4. Let's move our exploration over to the docs and just see what it says. Get theme icon. Turns a texture 2D, takes a name and a theme type. That really does seem like the right thing. Let's try it. Okay, so get theme icon, editor, handle, editor icons. Then we need its size halved because all of our shapes take extents rather than size. Extents is usually a measurement from the center as opposed to a size, which is a measure from one side to all the way to the other side. So texture has no member get size. I bet that's another thing that's been renamed. What? Oh, because it's texture 2D. Okay, texture 2D. And I bet that has a size. All right. That code just seems wrong. Like, did that even work in Godot 3? Because, like, well, whatever, it's fine. This seems like it will work. All right, so then we get the shape. We assume that it's valid because we did all the other checks up here. Resize our handles vector. Get the shape extents, convert them to floats. We write some points. Does point work in GDExtension? That's kind of awesome if it does, because point is just like an alias for vector 2. Oh, I'm very happy about that. I like these type defs. These type defs are good. Hey, Maxim, welcome to the stream. Oh yeah, I bet you're right that texture got renamed to texture 2D because 2D got attached to everything that was traditionally 2D. Oh, you got a really sweet looking character. You got a crown. You're looking very regal there, ready to ready to command your kingdom. All right, so all right, so what's next? We're drawing the texture by transforming the handles by the nodes transform, subtracting the size. This variable's badly named. Size is not true. Or no, yeah, it's extents. We're making it into an extents, but whatever. I don't want to call it extents because we have another thing called extents here. So I guess we could say like handle extents or something. But this is fine. We'll leave the code as it is. I think I understand what it's doing. Let's compile this. And then we can try it. I will preemptively close this instance of the editor since I do have a bad tendency to just open lots of them. And that compiled fast. Let's give it a try. Slower startup time because we were using all the debug symbols, and this is running through GDB in case it crashes. We can get a nice stack trace we can investigate. Okay, so this should make rectangles get handles. They did not. All right. Let's take advantage of those debug symbols and see what's happening. Let's set some breakpoints. Set a breakpoint up here. I guess we'll set a breakpoint here. Maybe over here. Maybe over here. All right. Let's select a shape and see what happens. All right, so it's checking if we handle this particular shape. I guess we do. We technically do. So let's just make sure this does the right thing. I was originally thinking we'd just skip through this and then come back, but let's actually see what happens. Oh man, something's weird with my debugger right now because we should have stepped over to the next line. Hopefully it'll behave better when we go to the thing we actually do want to debug. Okay, so SG fix node to D. Okay, so this is the parent class, right? So this is, in fact, a SG collision shape 2D. So let's step over and see what happens. Okay, debugger's being weird, but I'm pretty sure that returned true because we ended up in the edit here. Let's do step into. Oh, I don't want to step that far into it. Let's skip over the cast. All right, so now we're in the edit. And we are going to say our node does exist. We can cast it to a shape. I got to see what's going on with my debugger here. It is not being very, very friendly. Let's just keep stepping through and see if we end up in the drawing ones. We don't end up in the drawing function at all. Ricardo, pointer. Never went that deep into GDExtension internals, but if you implement an option Venen agreed with and it passes your test, then it seems likely to get approval in or soon after the meeting. Physics engine streams are the best streams. I agree. Well, maybe, I don't know. I like all the streams, but for the sake of being contrarian, I agree. The physics streams are the best streams. Yeah, the thing is, I want to stop breaking compatibility in GDExtension like as soon as possible. And so if we can't get this change, which changes the entire way that pointer calls are encoded, if we can't get it into 4.1, I'm like so reluctant to say we're going to break compatibility in 4.2. I mean, it's not entirely up to me. And everyone else seems to be way more chill about breaking compatibility than I am. But like, we're going to be breaking compatibility in 4.1, and then we're going to do it again even bigger in 4.2. Like, I would love for 4.1 to be the last time that we break compatibility, and then from 4.1 onward, we can make the promise to the community that if you make a GDExtension in an older version of Godot, it will work in a newer version of Godot. End of sentence. Because like no one's going to adopt GDExtension, no one's going to take Godot seriously about compatibility if we're going to keep breaking it. So I guess, oh, that's a good question, Maxime. I will check that next if I did do def build equals true in all of the places, because sometimes I do it in Godot, but not in my extension, and I get lost. Okay, but back to what I was saying before I totally distracted myself. If we can get this change that George wants to do, the switching the encoding to pointer in Godot 4.1, I'm all for it because it's consistent. No one from this point on would ever have to deal with like, well, why does Godot encode things differently in this one specific case? Because the Godot Rust bindings maintainer and the Godot Python bindings maintainer have also been battling with this and have been thrown off by this inconsistency. And so every new person who comes into this, who's making a new binding, is going to be hit with this inconsistency. And wow, wouldn't it be great if we could just stop that forever? But I don't want to keep breaking compatibility. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I know that like the production team, Remy and Yuri, are way more into breaking compatibility than I am with regard to GDExtension. That is, because they're like, it sort of seems like they're taking the stance that it's experimental. So like, let's do it. But I want to settle things down and have a usable technology that people can depend on. Is my hope, my goal. All right, yes, let's check what Maxime brought up. So that would be in tasks. Dev build, yes. Okay, let's go make sure that Godot is also built with dev build, because I frequently screw this up. Yes, they're both built with dev build. I also frequently have an issue with GDB with Godot 4 for some crazy reason. I don't know why. I never had any issues with GDB in Godot 3, but I seem to with Godot 4, and so I've been using LLVM. Oh, we were using LLVM. Or no, this is the wrong launch. Let's go to the right launch. Okay, so it looks like this is using GDB. Let's try switching it to LLVM and see if that works better. So we will copy and paste some stuff. Where was that launch I was on before? Oh, come on. Okay, so this is the LLDB stuff. I'm going to comment out this one. Probably still need this. I'm going to do what I did in the Godot one and kind of consolidate all this stuff in the same spot, so it's easy to switch back and forth between GDB and LLDB. That looks about right. Comment all these things out. Okay, so that's what we remove. And what do we add? We change the type to LLDB. And is that everything? Ooh, this needs to go up there with the other stuff. Okay, this looks good. Let's give it a try. So we will kill this one and launch this one. I hope this works. There's nothing more frustrating than having issues with your debugger while trying to debug in C++. Okay, so I muted them. Let's re-unmute them. Let's enlouden them. Let's voice them. Mute and I don't know. Let's unmute them, and we will try selecting this guy. All right, so collision shape 2D. Let's try our step over and see what happens. Hey, LLDB to the rescue! Woo! Okay, so what do we get? We got node. Looks like a valid node reference. Okay, we're returning true. That's beautiful. Let's jump to edit here. We're going to step into and then... Ooh, it actually stepped all the way to the thing I wanted to step to. That's also good. LLDB also treating us well. Okay, so we go into here. Ooh, I just lost the thread there. I was hoping to get down to get current shape type. That sucks. Everything was going so good, debugger. Oh, did the whole thing crash? What? Did I hit the wrong button? I either need more sleep or more caffeine. Or both. I may have just clicked stop and killed it. I don't know what happened there. All right, let's start over. We're going to mute our breakpoints. We're going to hit continue. We're going to unmute our breakpoints. We're going to come in here. We're going to click on a rectangle. Which rectangle? I don't know. Click on one visually. I kind of wanted to click on the list though, so let's try this one. So I know exactly which rectangle I'm clicking. All right, so here we go. We'll step over. We know this will return true. Okay, we're on edit. Let's step into, and I've lost the thread. What the heck is going on? LDB not for the win. It's like as if the debugger crashed because I no longer have the buttons to press. And the application's still running. Here, process exited with -1. But it appears that this process is still running. It was the LDB process that exited. Oh, this sucks. Print statements? Are we going to go to print statements? You know, I have, for whatever reason, since starting to work on Godot 4, I've struggled like crazy with my debugger. I don't know what it is. Working on SG Physics 2D and Godot 3, debugging was no problem. Everything always seemed to work. And then lately, I don't know. Hell yeah, print statements! We'll kill this dead Godot here. One more try. There we go. Okay. I have a suspicion that we're not getting to the place we need to get to because of we can't call that what was that, canvas edit, a canvas item editor update viewport. I bet that is the reason that we're not getting to our draw things. But I don't actually even know that we're not getting to our draw stuff because the debugger wouldn't tell me. Okay, so we are going print statements. We need this, what is it? Is it core utility? It's something utility. Variant utility? Utility functions, there we go. And we are going to go into our forward canvas draw over viewport. Utility functions, print, I guess we'll say shape editor draw. Actually, don't think we need to put the new line. Let's just try this. Let's see if this code's being called at all. That's the first question to answer. I should have been paying attention. Looks like no, it's not ever getting called. Forward canvas draw overview part. All right, let's take ourselves to the docs and see if there's anything in here that might be helpful. Okay, called by engine when the 2D editor viewport is updated, use the overlay control for drawing. Should we be using this for something? You can update the viewport manually by calling update overlays. Overlay, draw circle. Interesting. Should we maybe be doing this like totally differently? I wonder. An update overlays, that's a method on editor plugin. Updates the overlays of the 2D and 3D editor viewports, causes methods to be called. Okay, that sounds promising. Let's just switch up how we're doing this entirely. So we currently have this separate control that we're creating. We don't have to do it that way. We could bake all of this code into the editor plugin and have it drawn to this overlay rather than, you know, being on the control and drawing on ourselves. So just for testing purposes, actually, let's just draw some stuff from the editor plugin and play around with the update overlays thing and see if that gets us somewhere. So when we edit, we want update, or actually, hang on. What if we just call update overlays from here? Will that be enough? I mean, if our control is legitimately visible, that could be enough. Let's add some more debug stuff just in case. So I guess I had in the header file, it was just forwarding here, but let's move this to the CPP file so that we can do some more creative things with it. I'll put that, I guess, at the top. Ooh, I missed some stuff. Honestly, I work in a big company and print statements through logging is the only way to debug. Stuff is run on a private cloud, so it's hard to launch a debugger. The binary of my tool is statically linked and the size is gigabytes. Oof. Yeah, that's interesting. Hey, Cyber Habanero, welcome to the stream. Oh, we got a good bearded contingent going today. I guess none of the other bearded fellows are on the screen aside from myself. But yeah, you look like me. You got the no hair and a black beard. We should switch. All right. Why is this saying it's undefined? Oh, because I have to say what class this is in. C++ problems. SG collision shape 2D editor plugin. There we go. And we'll normalize the style there. All right, so we're forwarding the thing, but I also just want to draw something just for testing purposes. So I think, can we call just like the normal draw commands here? Like draw, let's say, line from vector 2, 0, 0 to vector 2, 500, no, 1,000, 1,000 by 1,000, and the color is going to be black. I always get confused about alpha. I don't know why I get confused about alpha. Like which direction it goes. Is alpha 0 mean it's transparent and alpha 1 means it's visible? I don't know why I always get confused about that. All right. The width is going to be 20. Make it huge. And let's anti-alias it just for fun. Okay. So the goal right now is just to establish that we have an impact on what's going on the screen. And then once we've established that, we can pull in the actual functional code. 0 equals transparent, 1 equals opaque. Thank you. I don't know why I constantly forget that. It's like, I don't know. So I picked correctly, I guess, is the moral of the story. But it still confuses me constantly. All right. So let me select one of these. And nothing has occurred. No print statements have printed. That is not a good sign. Why are we not having any effect? Let's add some print statements earlier on. Hi, it's me. We know that edit is running because we saw it in the debugger before. So let's throw a print statement here. Leandro, hey, welcome to the stream. So the series, my streams all have like different topics, so they kind of come in like little series. Here I'll show you. So over on my YouTube channel, will that work? Or do I have to put a U in there? No, it will work. There is a playlist. No, I want the playlists like on my channel. I'm confused all of a sudden. YouTube's too confusing for me. Okay, here are all my game dev streams. And so like the past bunch of weeks I've been doing GDExtension, and then before that I was doing VR prototyping, and before that I was doing what we're doing today, again working on porting SG Physics 2D, my deterministic 2D physics engine, from Godot 3 to Godot 4, and we were working on WebXR for like a really long time. So anyway, there's a lot of different things. I guess you kind of have to like watch the thumbnail to see what they are, but almost all 85 streams are on here. Some of the early ones are missing because they were terrible. If you are clever, the links are still, like the videos are still up. I just don't have them linked from anything. But here, I'll send you the, this is the link. Hopefully that'll come through to YouTube. If YouTube is weird about links, so the YouTube may have censored the thing I just tried to paste. Oh, you're on Facebook. Okay, so hopefully it'll come to Facebook. Let me know if it doesn't arrive there. Actually, let me put it here. So some people will see this twice, but I think it's more reliable to make it to all the streaming services if I post it from Restream. Anyway, let me know if you got that. Maybe the method starts with an underscore in GDExtension? That is an interesting thought. There are a lot of cases of that. So like, for example, I had to rename you know, handles and edit and all that stuff to have an underscore from GDExtension. So that is a solid point. We're calling the update overlays, so one would hope that that would lead us to here. Well, let's work with the more print statements thing. I always have this fear that is frequently proven true, that I'm testing not the thing I think I'm testing. I'm like recompiling and then like actually running an old version or a different version or something like that. So if none of these print statements come through this time, we know something like that is happening because we were able to see that edit was getting called, and enter tree has to get called. Like, I don't know how that one didn't get called. So if this doesn't work, we're going to fall back on trying to make sure we're running the code we think we're running. Hi, it's me. Okay, there we go. We got one print statement. And now this should get to edit. So we made it to edit. We did not make it to the draw function here. Forward canvas over overlay. So yeah, is this the one you were saying might be an underscore? Let's go check that out. Oh, I bet you're right. I bet you're right, Ricardo. Here, let's... Or wait, which class is this? Here we go. Let's add the word override on there so we can't make this mistake again. And compile. If the compiler accepts that, then those are the real names of the methods. Awesome, Leandro. Thanks for subscribing. That's awesome. I didn't see what character you got. Did you get a character? Or did I see it and already have forgotten? My memory is so short when I'm this short on sleep. Ah, interesting. What do we have going on here? Oh, it looks like we just need to add a new include, perhaps? For declaration class, instantiation is method of. No declaration. Well, oh, and we need to rename it in the CPP file. So a couple of things. Here, like that. Actually, let's just try that first and see what happens. Try compiling that. And we're still getting a bunch of those. Substitution of deduced template augments result in errors above. Blah, 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 blah. I am getting the feeling we need to include a thing. Input event. Let's try including that. Although, shouldn't it be included? I mean, I guess you can forward declare it. Input event. That was it. Input event was forward declared, but did not have its full definition, so the template couldn't do its template magic. GCC does not have the best error messages. You kind of have to divine a little bit what it's talking about. Clang is supposedly much better, but I haven't gotten it into my workflow yet. I should dig into that. All right, so let's close this one and let's get in there. Hey, there's our big line. Ooh, and look at our handles. Our handles were drawn in the completely wrong spot, but they were drawn. Okay, so we need this canvas item editor transform. We do. Whoa, that's interesting. I just broke everything. I broke it all. All right, but we're moving in the right direction here. Okay, so our handles are being drawn. I guess that means we don't need to totally change our approach. We can stick with the current approach that has this control, which may as well. It's kind of nice having the plugin be different from the thing that's doing the actual work. Like that's a kind of nice design. The question is, how are we going to get the canvas item transform. Is there another way to get it? Here, let's go to the... Sometimes Godot will expose things in a different way for scripts and extensions than you would in a module, which we've been encountering a ton when working on this because SGPhysics 2D was originally a Godot module. Now we're moving it to the other side of the barrier. So let's search for Canvas item editor, not in the mono module, but in the whole thing. Let's see what we got. And we want the canvas transform. So maybe that's actually what we should look for. Let's look for get canvas transform. Oh, hang on. Where is it exposed? What class is this? Or is this just a normal method that I've never called before? Let's go check the docs here. It looks like it might just be a method on canvas item. Okay, so what is it exactly? What is get canvas transform telling us? Returns the transform matrix. No. Get canvas transform. Get canvas transform. Returns the transform from the coordinate system of the canvas this item is in to the viewport's coordinate system. So what does that mean? The canvas the item is in. So what were we doing here? We were multiplying the node's global transform by the canvas item editor's canvas transform. What if we took this overlay? The thing that's weird is it appeared to just, you know, draw it in like absolute position, and the canvas was always scrolled. Let's just see what happens if we say p overlay get canvas transform. Just replace it with the canvas transform from the overlay and see what happens. Something I love about working in GDExtension that I'm just not used to is how quick the compile times are. Like, that's really great. How many streams have we done where we're hacking on Godot and it's like, all right, now it's time to talk about something else for 8 minutes or whatever. That's awesome. I'm digging it. I like don't even notice that it's finished compiling. It happens so fast because I'm just used to wasting, you know, the extra time. Okay, so it still draws the handles over here, despite the fact that, oh, and it looks like it keeps redrawing, so it's not getting an updated. Yeah, I can see the number cranking up over here. It's not getting an updated position, regardless of where we put that. All right, let's go back to seeing if there's a way to access the canvas item editor. So canvas item editor, this is the wrong project. We want to be in Godot itself. We want canvas item editor. Canva item editor. Canvas item editor. There we go. Okay, so editor plugin gives us access to a bunch of things on it. Scene tree doc is accessing the plugin. Get viewport control. Do we get any access to the direct access to the viewport control? No, we can just queue its redraw, which that is our update overlays. And these functions were on editor plugin. Maybe something on editor interface? Or can we find it in the node tree, like just in the scene tree? Can we find it? Or how does the core editor plugin for editing shapes work? That also would be a good question, because I'm again porting Godot 3 code. Maybe this is related to a Godot 4 difference. Where are the core editor plugins? It's like what do we think it would be called? Like shape editor something. Picker, translation, plugin config. Collision Shape 2D Editor plugin? That sounds like it. Okay, so Collision Shape 2D Editor makes a separate control, just like we do, because I'm pretty sure I copied from the Godot 3 version of this code. And so what we need to know is how does it handle draw over viewport? Okay, so it's doing the thing that we can't do. I wonder if this should be a method on editor interface, or maybe just editor plugin itself. How are we expected to do this? Let's look at editor interface for a second. So this is an exposed class that's supposed to allow editor plugins to do things in the editor. So when we ask for, I think we're using something from editor interface. We're asking for the base control, right? Let's go back in here. We're saying editor interface, get base control. What is the base control? What is it? Where does it come from? So I guess get base control. That's what we want to see. Get base control. So that's editor node, get GUI base. What is GUI base? And how does GUI base relate to the canvas item editor? Okay, let's go look at canvas item editor plugin. So this creates the canvas item editor and adds it to wherever it's adding it to. Where is it adding it to? I think if we get down to the editor plugin that adds it, well, let's just go into this code and see what it's doing. So it creates the canvas item editor. It says get main screen control. It adds a control to the main screen control. Okay, so I guess that's where it lives. And all the rest of Godot internally is accessing it as a singleton. How should we get access to it? Or just this one property of it? It's not given a nice name, at least as far as I can tell. I mean, we certainly could like walk over the children of main screen control and look for it. That's not the most ideal thing to do, though. So it's a VBox container. I believe it does bind. I didn't mean to open that. Okay, I believe it does bind some methods. Update viewports, center at, blah, blah, blah. None of those are really useful for us. We just need to know how much it has been scrolled. I feel like this should be on editor interface. I don't know if that's right. Someone who knows the Godot editor better would probably be able to tell me if that's right or wrong. But let's just do it. Let's do it. We'll make a PR, ask for some review, and then someone will tell me where it should be or where I'm missing it. But let's just put it on there. So, or maybe on editor plugin itself. Yes, I think it should go on editor plugin itself, because editor plugin is what's forwarding to us to do this drawing. But like if you're making any editor plugin that's going to draw on the viewport, it has to know this information somehow. It has to, right? There has to be something in here to that's like a way that we're supposed to be able to do this. There just has to be. Hang on. I'm going to look in editor plugin. I'm going to look for anything that does transform. Nope. Let's look in editor interface. Anything that does transform. Nope. I find it hard to believe that no one's done this before, given like that it's explicitly laid out in the docs. So passes this viewport control. What control is that? What control actually is that? That's a really good question. Maybe that can help us find our way to the place we need to be. Okay, so what calls this? Let's go back to the Godot source code. This is forward canvas draw over viewport. Forward canvas draw over viewport. So I think what we want is something that's calling it. Here we go. So editor node is looping over, or no, editor plugin list, which presumably is some part of editor node. Canvas item editor. Canvas item editor is also looping over the plugins and calling it. And what is this? This is the viewport. Viewport, get canvas item. What is the viewport? Lead me to your viewport. Hey, what is this? Set global canvas transform on the scene root? Can we access the scene root from something? Or the editor node's scene roots. That would be like editor node singleton, and I guess that would either be let's go to editor plugin. Get scene root. Nope. Let's go to editor interface. Get scene root. No. Man, okay, where was I before I went down this other tangent? Okay, so it appears canvas item editor as this draw viewport thing. Draws the grid, it draws some rulers, it draws an axis, then it loops through all of the editor plugins, and it calls forward canvas draw over on them with this viewport. Canvas item add set transform, CI transform. All right, I might go back to what I was saying before. We're just gonna hack Godot and get some input afterwards, because I just don't see where we're supposed to get this information. Everything in Godot seems to be calling canvas item editor get singleton get canvas transform. The tile map editor especially is doing that. Okay, let's put it on editor plugin. Editor plugin. All right, so we are going to add a new method that's related to these guys. This is going to be, I don't know that it needs to be virtual. Yeah, in fact, I'm pretty sure it doesn't need to be. So we'll say void get canvas item editor transform. Or get canvas transform. So it'd be like 3D. Let's just name it this. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Get canvas item editor transform. And it's not void. It's returning a transform 2D. Let's bounce over to the CPP file. Does this refer to canvas item editor anywhere? Canvas item editor. It totally does. I'm just going to look at every instance of canvas item editor in this file really quick. Yeah, okay. Transform 2D, editor plugin. what did we call it? Get canvas item editor transform, and then we do canvas item editor get singleton get canvas transform. Oh, and I made it const, so it's const. Okay, we need to bind that. Whenever these big lists of things, I want to put them in a place that kind of makes sense, but then when there isn't, it's just confusing. Maybe up here by update overlays, because it's sort of related to drawing. Get canvas item editor transform. Get canvas item editor transform. Okay, so that should be enough to expose it on the Godot side. So let's recompile. We'll have to make a new branch and make a PR and do all that fun stuff. And then this is going to compile. There was an error. What's that about? Knowing value of transform declared with no discard. Did I forget to type return? I might have forgotten to type return. Get canvas item editor transform. I forgot to type return. All right. Try that again. So anyway, we compile Godot. Then we will use the newly compiled Godot to... Oh, it's still building the previous one. Cancel you. Stop. And then we'll use the newly recompiled Godot to generate the extension API.json file, which we then give to Godot CPP, which will generate, the bindings in C++ for GDExtension, and then should be able to use it. So pretty straightforward process. Linking, we are always linking. I just still can't believe that there isn't something built in here already to do this. Like, all of the machinery here is set up to draw on this thing. How on earth are you supposed to draw in the right spot? Okay, so Godot finished building. Let's bounce over to the SGPhysicsD project. We'll close the running editor that we have. We need to go into Godot CPP. We're going to find where the extension API.json file is. It is here. And then we're going to run Godot with the arguments headless and dump extension API. All right, I'm just gonna do a diff really quick to make sure that I see the new function in there. Wow, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Let's look for get canvas item editor transform. Beauteous. So now we should be able to rebuild. I'm going to force it to clean, because sometimes there's issues with regenerating here. I need to put something in my tasks JSON about cleaning. Nope, wrong tasks. So otherwise I always have to go in here and make sure I run it with the same arguments as I'm building with. So this would be target template debug dev build equals yes. All right, clean. All right, now let's rebuild. Yeah, in GDExtension, in all of the bindings, really, Godot CPP is not an exception in this way. There's a lot of code generation going on because Godot generates this extension API JSON that explains like all of the classes and their methods and their arguments and all this different stuff. And then Godot CPP just generates C++ classes that will live on the GDExtension side. And then when you call a method on one of these like wrapper classes that were generated, it gets forwarded over to Godot and calls the real method. The Rust bindings and the Python bindings all work in essentially the same way. There's code generated from this extension API.json. Okay, let's run it. Oh, and I didn't use it for anything though. Let's not run it. This isn't going to tell us anything. This is going to tell us it doesn't crash. All right, let me close that. We need to go to the code we were working on, which was here, I think. Yes. And we need to... Oh, we don't have access to it from here. Okay. I'm going to take a 1-minute break to just run to the bathroom really quick. I'll be right back, and then we will figure out how we're going to get this class access to the editor plugin. So I will be right back. All right, how do I turn this thing back on? There we go. Hello. Okay. We need to pass some info here. Just for expediency, let's just pass the transform. We can certainly make this better in a moment, but what should we call it? Canvas transform? Ah! Oh, come on. What is going on? P, canvas, transform. Vim key bindings gone crazy. Okay, we need to change the signature in the header. All right, and then when we call it, we need to call get canvas item editor transform. And now let's compile that and see if the handles end up in the right spot. Oh, what did I do? What did I do? Equation of blah, blah, blah. Did I change the wrong? I did change the wrong thing. These methods are named way too similarly. Okay, so this is not this. It's here. get canvas item editor transform, and then in the header file, I put it on the wrong thing. I put on the GUI input rather than the draw overview port. Okay. All right, and now let's run it. Hey, look at that. And if I scroll it, the handles are in the right spot. It's beautiful. Okay, so it should be relatively straightforward to do the rest of it. I guess let's just do it. The rest of it, I mean, being able to drag well, no, it's not totally straightforward, is it? So we'll be able to intercept the input, no problem. Actually updating it, we have to interact with the undo redo system. Maxime's shooting off some fireworks. Yeah, so I'm wondering, do I plow forward with this, or do I take a break to make this PR to Godot? It's a very simple PR. Let's make a PR. Let's just make this PR really quick. So what we want to do is make a new branch. We'll call this editor plugin canvas transform. And this includes some changes we don't want to include in the PR, so we're going to have to do some rebasing in a minute. But for now, I think we just commit it. We will say add method for editor plugins in script or GDExtension to get the canvas item editor transform. That's a long commit message. Method 4. Actually, we'll say expose. That'll allow me to make this comment shorter. Expose method for editor plugins. And since we're exposing, we know that's about script and GDExtension to get the canvas item editor transform. Just make commit, you can sort it out later. Well, I did work on rollback netcode. I first made all the changes, ensured it worked. Then I split all the changes into 60 commits. 60 commits is a lot of commits. Wow, that must have taken a bunch of reorganization to get them all orderly. I'm gonna go all the way to making the PR. It shouldn't take too much time. Then we can plow forward right after that. So okay, we've got the commit, and then we just have to do a quick rebase I to remove this one. We'll say editor plugin canvas transform. And now make a quick PR. What do you want to continue the pull requests? Create a pull request using GitHub? No, just take me to GitHub. I want to go to GitHub. Okay. So, I guess I'll say I'm working on an editor plugin in GDExtension that adds handles to a custom node to edit its shape. editor plugins built into core put their handles in the right place by getting the canvas item editor transform via canvas item editor get singleton get canvas transform. However, canvas item editor isn't exposed to script or GDExtension. This seems intentional. There's a number of methods provided on editor plugin to access canvas item editor. I couldn't find any other way to get the canvas item editors transform, so this PR adds a new method to editor plugin to get it. If there is already a way to get this from script or GDExtension, please let me know. Okay, that seems like a good PR. Take a look at the diff really quick to make sure it's not totally crazy. Editor plugin GDExtension that adds handles to a custom node to edit its shape. That's the wrong its. Editor plugins built in core put their handles in the right place, making a camera sound shadow. However, camera sound GDExtension seems intentional. Okay, cool. So this is an enhancement. It is editor. It is GDExtension. And let's say milestone is 4x. And reviewers, is there an editor group? And I guess probably GDExtension. All right, tagged up. Let's do it. That only took 5-ish minutes, I hope. Was anyone timing? All right, so let's go back to our code here. So we now need to go back to our GDExtension future branch. And we need to merge in that commit we just made. That should only take a second. Merge editor plugin transform. I'm surprised that can't just fast forward. Let's do this different. Let's do git merge abort. Let's cherry pick it. Cherry pick. Editor plugin canvas transform. Bam. Okay, so that commit history looks perfect. And we'll commit it to we'll push it to my GDExtension future branch, which I'm just kind of keeping as a place for all of the GDExtension unmerged PRs that I need, so I can test them in projects. Okay, so let's keep moving forward. So the next bit, I think the GUI input actually needs this same transform information. Cool, so we'll put it on, we'll pass it into that function as well. And let's go over to the CPP file. Transform to be P canvas transform. And here we go. We can put this in there. P canvas transform. All right, so this should be able to detect selecting the handles and moving them. And it should allow them to move visually, right? Because it's going to edit the actual handle objects in this like little vector of handles we have, I think. Why is it saying no declaration matches? VS Code, I think, has lost its mind. We'll find out if that is an actual error when we compile. And then let's go look at some of these. So set handle. Okay, so this function, we can't call it. We have to call this function on the editor plugin. This is really making me feel like we should probably just consolidate this from being a control to being, or we pass in the editor plugin to the collision shape 2D editor. That could work. That could absolutely work. Okay, so this control, we create it. We can't pass it in the constructor, which is what I would naturally want to do, but or I suppose we could. We just have to allow it to default to null, because any class from GDExtension needs to have a constructor that takes no arguments. Due to just technical details of how GDExtension works, it needs to be able to create an instance of the class and then do some stuff with it without it needing any input. There really isn't any advantage to this being a separate control other than just like, I don't know, cleanliness? We can declare as many editor plugins as we like, so why not make them be the same thing? I'm inclined to switch this up. Let's merge them. It's getting too awkward having them be separate. So let's start that process here. Let's get rid of these. We need to bring over whatever these methods are. I don't know what they do. We need to bring over all of this stuff. Kill that one. This can go away. Do we even use SG collision shape 2D? Oh, I guess we do. So we're never going to bring those back. Let's head over here. Before I forget to do it, let's take stuff from the constructor of the old class. I always forget about constructors in C++. I don't know why. It's like a recurring mistake I just make over and over and over again. And then we are going to change the class on all of these to editor plugin. Editor plugin. Plugin. I could probably have done this with a regex. But I've already started doing it, so I'm gonna stick with it here. I don't know why we need to bind these, to be honest. I guess I'll figure it out eventually. This can just go down to the other bind methods. And then these need to become plugin, and then put the underscore, and then I guess we're changing the signature again because it can now directly get the canvas transforms. That would be get canvas item transform. Do the same thing down here. What I do? Get canvas item editor transform. Oh, and this needs to be with the underscore. Okay, and then it's going to complain at us that we have double declared these things. So I'll have to consolidate some of these a little bit. So this one can just go away. This one can also just go away. Handles is fine. Edit. Just needs this moved up into it. So where's edit? All right, so some slight changes here. Need to do node equals this, because this takes object, I believe. Oh, okay, we have a control. I was gonna say this is only on control. How are we gonna get this? But we do have a control. We have the overlay. So p overlay. That should work. Oh, and this needs to not call it, but just do the cast. We say if we can't call it node. So say new node. Wait. Okay, I think this is okay. What else did I screw up in here? Enter tree. Okay, we don't need to do any of this. Exit tree, we don't need to do any of this. These need to be changed to the new class name. Okay. This may be merged. I don't know why VS Code's complaining about that. At least not in that spot. That's a weird spot to complain about that. Let's give this a try. What did I get wrong? Oh, okay. I still have some code somewhere registering that class that we just removed. So I need to update that. That's this one. So we can kill that. Still something not quite right. Redefinition. Oh, I must still have a duplicate of the edit function. Let's hop back there. Let's check the header first. I don't see the one in the header. Cool. Then let's go over here to the CPP file. Edit. Be more specific. Edit on this. All right, this one needs to just be removed. And then we need to add that magic function that we found earlier, the update overlays. Okay, I think that's right. I think that's right. Finally, the third time I've said I think that's right. Okay. I pressed run you. Oh, because you're already running. Okay, let's get out of there. So what we're hoping is the handles will be drawn in the right spot. Hey. And possibly that we can drag them? No, everything went crazy. All right, let's get rid of some print statements too, just because they're annoying me a little bit. All right, let's focus in on the code here. So this is the drawing code. And this commented out line can be uncommented and replaced with the new function we just added. So that would be get canvas item editor transform. Whoa, what's this snap point business though? What is that? Oh no. Is there another function that we need from canvas item editor? Do we have to call this function to make our movements obey the configured snap? That's really what it seems like. All right, this might be a new thing we have to do. We're not doing it right now though. We're just gonna work around it. I'll add a note to my to-do. Where's my to-do? Godot. Do I have an SG Physics 2D section in here? Should. I think it's all kind of merged into a GDExtension section. Well, let's do a SG Physics 2D. Or maybe this goes on the GDExtension section. Say expose canvas item editor snap point somehow. All right. So we're just going to remove the snap. It's just going to be freeform. No snap. All right, so this code I would expect to work. Get handle value. This code I would also expect to work. Commit handle I would expect to not work, because I commented out all the undo redo stuff, because we have to use a totally different system for undo redo when working from GDExtension. We have to use the way that scripts can interact with undo redo. And then set handle we need to work. We need to make set handle work. And all we should need here, I think, is the update overlays. Replacing this guy. We should probably go through and replace all cases of this because I commented it out all over the place just to make it compile. But we know what that should be now. All right, so only the undo redo stuff is doing it anymore. Okay. How are we doing on time? We got 10 more minutes of streaming. See what we can get done in the last 10 minutes of the stream. I really just want to be dragging some handles around. And we should probably commit what we've made so far too, because we've made a bunch of progress. Like really. Look, it's a box. We can drag the handles, and it does things. It's nice. It's nice when we have a stream where we set out to do a thing, and then the thing happens. That's nice. How many streams have we done where we're just stuck on some dumb little point, breaking our brains, trying to figure out why it's not working? This is a pretty good one. This is a pretty good one. At least as far as, you know, what we produce. Sometimes those streams where we're breaking our brains and don't figure anything out are still a lot of fun. Because you guys are helping me out, and we're answering questions, we're thinking deep thoughts. Maxime says it lags. Yes, it does lag. I wonder what the cause of that is. There's like a little bit of a delay. And I would love to hit undo a couple of times to make that go back, but we didn't implement undo yet. I guess that's probably the next thing. Let's commit what we have, and then start peeking into how we have to do undo redo. Oh, I'm in the wrong repo here. Okay. So Godot's always trying to rewrite my stupid IDs. I can't believe this bug still exists. It's a very frustrating bug. Godot always rewriting my IDs. But whatever, it's fine. We're in like a slush branch. None of this is going to be committed as is. It's going to be squashed into one big commit once it's finally working. Oh, and I just saw I left the utility functions in there. I'm going to just grab that out completely. That was just for our print statements. What else have we got? Should we even commit the non-C++ changes? Because they're just like arbitrary junk. I mean, I guess so. Let's add everything in source, and let's add, well, no, let's just do the C++ changes. So this would be got rectangle, handles, drawing, and dragging. You need to force redraw. Q draw? Maybe. Maybe. I mean, we are calling update viewports quite a few times. Ricardo says success. Success is nice. Let's see the code. So set handle, I think, is fundamentally where we're changing things. And at the end, we're calling update overlays, which I'm 99% sure goes to a Q draw somewhere. Let's, what was the method called? Update overlays. Update overlays. Q redraw. Update surface. I mean, we can try calling it on the control that we're drawing on, because we're drawing on a control, right? Wait, how are we drawing these things? I thought we were drawing on a control, but hang on. I don't remember switching it to point at the overlay. Or were we always pointed at the overlay? We were always pointed at the overlay. So QDraw leads to calling the draw virtual function, or the underscore draw virtual function. Do we even really want that to happen in this case, though? Because we're doing the drawing here. I'm not sure. I am willing to live with the lag for the moment. There's still so many things to solve in here. And maybe, actually, rather than trying to dig into the undo redo, which is going to be like a new thing, we're going to have to learn a thing, and we only have 5 minutes, maybe best would be to just get the handles drawing for the other shapes, because that should be pretty easy. It's like editor undo redo or something is the class we have to use. Editor undo redo manager. Yeah. Manager's API is mostly the same as in undo redo. Cool. So you can refer to its documentation for more examples. The main difference is that it uses object plus method name for actions instead of callable. That's probably good for us because callables from GDExtension are not fun. I know, Ricardo, you had made that note on the GDExtension meeting notes document to chat about that. I don't know if we could make a nice C++ API for doing callables because I haven't looked into it, but I think we should try. I mean, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to have a nice C++y interface to callables. So yeah, let's not mess with that. Let's try to get some more handles drawing for different shape types. Let's see if we can uncomment some stuff. So that would be over here. You can create an action and do add undo redo method, add redo method pointing to something like set handles and having your coordinates or the old ones for undo as an argument. Cool. Yeah, I mean that's essentially how undo redo works. Do method, add undo method. But yeah, we'll dig into that. We'll dig into that possibly next stream, or maybe I'll just do it on my own. I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. I'm going to be, I mentioned at the beginning, I don't know if it's the same people here at the beginning as they are at the end, but I'm going to be in Valencia next weekend, or not next weekend, the whole week. So I won't be doing a stream next week, but I will hopefully be back to it the week after. So it'll be 2 weeks until my next stream. All right, so this is the drawing. Let's start there. Let's draw the handles for the circle and capsule. Capsule. I love when people say capsules. Capsule. And then did I comment out stuff for the input? Nope, that is pretty generic. Set handle, though, I think I commented out. No, I didn't. All right. Well, let's see if this might just work. Is anyone else coming to the Valencia sprint? Ricardo, I think you're in Germany, right? You're relatively close. Are you going to come to the sprint in Valencia? I don't know if BIMDAV is still on, but it would be really sweet, BIMDAV, if you came to the sprint in Valencia so we could meet in person. That would be super cool, given that we've worked together on so much stuff and have never met. Okay, let me Press play. All right, so that one's working as it always was. This is a polygon. That's not going to work. Here's a circle. And it does its thing. Here's a capsule. And the capsule. Oh. It's a little off. Like the handle doesn't stick with the mouse. So there's some bug there. Did the circle have an issue like that? I wasn't paying enough attention. No, the circle is fine. There's something with the capsule length. How much you want to bet it's an extents versus size thing? We can take a peek at that. What if the capsule drawing routine changed? Set handle, capsule, and then where's the drawing happen? The drawing happens. Yeah, here we go. Draw review bar capsule. Height, radius. Height divided by 2 plus radius. Draw texture of the handles. Yeah, I don't know. That'll need some more investigation. For the time being, I think we can just like commit this and call it a successful stream. Yeah. Draw handles for the other shapes too. You can't make it, Ricardo? Yeah, I hope it's going to be fun. I think I'm going to be jet lagged the entire time and potentially miserable for that reason, but we'll see. I'm excited. I have never been to a Godot sprint before. I was at GDC, but we weren't really working on Godot. We were GDCing and promoting Godot and talking about Godot and that sort of thing. It'll be cool to actually be working on Godot stuff with other Godotians in person. I'm super excited. Anyway, our time this morning is up. Thanks everyone for coming to the stream. It was super fun. We got a lot of stuff done. And it was great to be able to test out some of these GDExtension things that I've been breaking my brain over for the last, couple of months at this point. But yeah, I hope everyone has a great weekend. I hope that some people who are watching, maybe not live, but later, I might see you in Valencia. That would be cool. Yeah. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.